Hello and welcome to today's class. In the last class, we discussed the subtopic, how do atoms exist? Atoms can exist either freely or independently, or they combine with one another. So the atoms which are unreactive, they exist freely and independently. For example, the atoms of noble gases. And atoms of most of the elements, they cannot exist freely or independently, rather they combine with one another and they form molecules. So let us study about molecule. Definition of molecule: a group of two or more atoms that are chemically bonded together. That means that is tightly held by attractive forces. Attractive forces is known as molecule. So molecule, it is a group of atoms. It is made up of more than one atoms, and those atoms, they are held together by strong attractive forces. Okay, and in the last class we studied that atoms of same elements, they form molecule of an element, and atoms of different elements, they form molecule of a compound. Okay, so let us move to the molecule of element. As you know, the molecule of element contains atoms of the same kind. एउटै प्रकारको atoms छ भने चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ हो molecule of element. Okay, contains atoms of same kind. For example, okay, in our atmosphere there are various gases like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc. These gases, they cannot exist freely. The atoms of these gases, they cannot exist freely. So the hydrogen gas present in atmosphere does not exist freely. So the atoms, two atoms of hydrogen, let us write down two atoms of hydrogen combine to form a molecule, that is one molecule of hydrogen. So hydrogen gas does not exist as an atom, does not exist freely, but it exists as a molecule in the atmosphere. So hydrogen atom, one hydrogen atom combines with another hydrogen atom. So duita bhayo ni ta, it is two or more than two atoms. So that is known as molecule. So when they combine, they form the molecule of hydrogen atoms. So यो भनेको चाहिँ two hydrogen atoms are present. Two should always be written as subscript. यसरी झुन्डाएर लेख्नुपर्छ टुलाई. Okay, so this is how hydrogen combine. Similarly, two atoms of oxygen, they combine with one another to form oxygen gas. त्यस्तै गरी nitrogen पनि त्यस्तै हुन्छ, nitrogen gas बनिन्छ. Now in ozone, I think you are familiar with ozone. Ozone is a gas and there is a layer of ozone in our atmosphere. It is very, very important. What is the importance of ozone layer? Ozone layer shields the earth from harmful ultraviolet radiations. Okay, so जुन चाहिँ sun बाट harmful UV rays आउँछ, त्यो harmful UV rays बाट चाहिँ यो ozone layer, it is present in the atmosphere and that protects the earth from those harmful ultraviolet radiations. So त्यो ozone, do you know what is ozone formed of? Ozone is formed of, ozone molecule is formed of 3 oxygen atoms. 3 oxygen atoms. दुईटा oxygen atom मिल्यो भने चाहिँ oxygen gas बनाउँछ, but तीनटा मिल्यो भने चाहिँ it forms ozone. Okay, it forms ozone. Similarly, in phosphorus, 4 phosphorus atoms form phosphorus molecule. In phosphorus molecule, 4 phosphorus atoms are present. Phosphorus atoms are present. Okay. Atoms are present. In sulfur, okay, there is another element called sulfur. In sulfur molecule, एउटा molecule को मात्रै कुरा गर्दैछ यहाँ हामीले. So in one sulfur molecule, there are 8 sulfur atoms. Okay, 8 sulfur atoms. So in this way, different number of atoms, they combine together and they form the molecules of elements. If you notice here, all the atoms are of the same element. एउटा element को छ कि छैन? So यस्तोलाई चाहिँ भनिन्छ molecule of an element. Okay, phosphorus मा पनि 4टा phosphorus atom हुन्छ नि त, 1 2 3 and 4. So it will form phosphorus molecule. So एउटै मात्रै element छ, यहाँ एउटा मात्रै capital letter छ नि त. Okay, so when there is only one capital, you have to understand that it is made up of only one element. Okay, so this is the molecule of elements. Now let us talk about atomicity. Okay, atomicity means, simple भाषामा भन्नु हो भने चाहिँ कुनै पनि element को एउटा molecule मा चाहिँ कतिवटा atoms हुन्छ. Okay, त्यसलाई चाहिँ we call it atomicity. Atomicity. So let us define atomicity. The number of atoms of all elements in a molecule of a substance is called its atomicity. Okay, कुनै पनि एउटा element मा या त कुनै पनि एउटा substance मा कतिवटा atoms छ एउटा element को, that is known as its atomicity. If I give you the example, I think it will be more clear. Okay, so let us write the name of element, the atomicity of element, and the name of the molecule. So molecules are always made up of atoms. So कतिवटा atoms छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ atomicity भनिन्छ. एउटा molecule मा कतिवटा atom छ त्यसलाई atomicity भनिन्छ. So first is helium. Do you remember helium? Yesterday I told you there are 6 inert gases in our earth, and one of them is helium. Inert gas भनेको unreactive हुन्छ. They exist freely or independently. That means they do not combine with others. So combine भएन भने molecule मा atom कतिवटा हुन्छ? Always 1. So they do not combine with others. The atoms can exist freely भनेको एक्लै बस्छ. एक्लै बसेपछि the atomicity is 1. So when the atomicity is 1, that molecule is known as monoatomic. Okay, monoatom. Mono भनेको 1. So there is only one atom present. So it is known as monoatomic. Okay. अर्को छ argon. आर्गन पनि इनर्ट ग्यासै हो, सो यसको पनि एटोमिसिटी 1 हुन्छ. अगेन इट इज मोनो एटोमिक. अब हाइड्रोजन, think about hydrogen. We just discussed how many atoms make up one molecule of hydrogen. दुईटा atoms मिलेर हाइड्रोजन molecule बनाउँछ. So दुईटा भनेको के हो? Di. So it is known as diatomic. Okay, similarly oxygen is diatomic. Okay, मैले भने नि oxygen पनि दुईटा oxygen atoms, they combine together to form a molecule. So oxygen is also diatomic. Nitrogen is also diatomic. Okay, two nitrogen atoms, they combine to form one molecule of nitrogen. These are all one molecules. Okay, your one molecules ma katiwata atoms cha, that is atomicity. Okay, next let us talk about ozone. Ozone ma katiwata huncha भने 3 oxygen atoms, they combine together. So 3 means tri. So this molecule is known as triatomic. Okay. Then comes phosphorus. Phosphorus ma how many atoms form one molecule of phosphorus? 4. So this is tetraatomic. Tetraatomic. Okay. त्यहाँदेखि आउँछ sulfur. Sulfur ma कतिवटा atoms हुन्छ? One molecule of sulfur has 8 atoms of sulfur, so it is known as polyatomic. Okay, so in this way we can find out the atomicity of different elements. Okay, now let us talk about the molecules of metals. Metals, I hope you know what are metals. Class 8 ma pani I think you've studied about metals. Metals are hard huncha, shiny huncha, ke re malleable, ductile, all these things we've studied about metals. So think about the examples of metals. Metals ko can you see, think some examples of metals? Gold, silver, aluminium, iron, copper, all these are examples of metals. Now metals are, they are also made up of molecules. Molecules, sorry, they are made up of atoms. Okay, so molecules of metals and some other elements, like carbon do not have a simple structure. Okay, तिनीहरुकोमा चाहिँ simple structure हुँदैन. Have a simple structure like hydrogen or like helium, right? So, but it consists of a large and indefinite number of atoms bonded together. So the molecules of such elements are always represented as monoatomic. These are monoatomic molecules. What did I say? Here the structure of metals and some other elements like carbon, त्यसको simple structure हुँदैन. Okay, त्यसको चाहिँ structure अलिकति complicated हुन्छ अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ एकदमै बेसी number of atoms हुन्छ. Large and indefinite भनेको count गर्नु नसक्ने number of atoms ले चाहिँ बनिएको हुन्छ. That is why we consider them as monoatomic. तिनीहरु चाहिँ जहिले पनि हामी त्यसलाई monoatomic भनिन्छ. So the molecules of metals and some other elements are monoatomic. For example, sodium is a metal, right? Sodium is a metal, so it is written as Na. हेर्नुस् त अरु केही छैन नि 1 2 केही नम्बर छैन सरी 2 3 4 केही नम्बर छैन भनेको it is always 1 considered as 1 sodium potassium is written as K the molecule of potassium is written as K है aluminium is written as Al हैन त्यस्तै गरी carbon is written as C okay in this way the molecules of metals and some other elements are considered to be monoatomic that means it is considered to be made up of a single atom okay अब पढौं ions को विषयमा let us study about ions first let us write down the definition of ion okay ion a particle which carries a particle which carries a positive or a negative charge is an ion negative charge is an ion so ion ma chai ke huncha it is either positively charged or it is negatively charged so यसमा चाहिँ charge हुन्छ okay now how is it formed ion चाहिँ कसरी बनिन्छ त that is formation of ion now ion is formed from atoms बाटै बनिएको हो okay ions when an atom loses or gains one or more electrons then ions are formed so atoms बाट चाहिँ जब एउटा अथवा एउटा भन्दा ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोन गयो अथवा आयो भने चाहिँ त्यसलाई त्यतिबेला चाहिँ ions बनिन्छ there are two kinds of ions two types of ions cation and anion so first is cation okay cation so cation this is positively charged okay भने नि कि त positive charge हुन्छ यसमा कि त negative charge हुन्छ so the ions which are positively charged are known as cations how is it formed it is formed when an atom loses one or more electrons कसरी बनिन्छ अरे जब एउटा एटमबाट इलेक्ट्रोन्स हराउँछ एउटा अथवा एउटा भन्दा ज्यादा भने चाहिँ त्यतिबेला चाहिँ cation is formed okay for example sodium is an atom okay so when it loses one electron sodium बाट चाहिँ जब एउटा इलेक्ट्रोन लुज भयो भने हरायो भने चाहिँ it will turn into positively charged ion and that ion is known as cation this is cation यो यहाँ तपाईले if you look carefully this is the atom यो atom हो okay so atom बाट एउटा इलेक्ट्रोन लुज भयो हरायो so त्यहाँबाट चाहिँ it changed into an ion so electron lose गरे भने चाहिँ it is known as cation so हेर्नुस् त atom बाट नै ion बनिन्छ atom मा there is no charge on atom is neutral तर यहाँनिर ion मा चाहिँ it can be positively charged or it can be negatively charged okay अब third feature is cation is smaller than the corresponding atom भनेको चाहिँ के हो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ This sodium ion, it is formed from sodium atom, है. So sodium atom चाहिँ ठुलो हुन्छ साइजमा. Sodium ion जब त्यो ion बनिन्छ, this becomes smaller in size. किन इलेक्ट्रोन लुज गरे नि त उले, so size उसको घट्छ र it becomes smaller in size. Okay, so another ion is known as anion. Okay, anion बनिन्छ. So anion is negatively charged. Cation positively charged हो पनि anion is negatively charged. It is negatively charged. Okay. So कसरी बन्ने हो त negative charge भन्दा चाहिँ when it is formed when an atom gains electrons. Okay, when an atom gains one or more electrons. Okay, so example na, let us talk about chlorine. So chlorine, this is a chlorine atom. यो atom हो chlorine को. यसमा जब एउटा इलेक्ट्रोन आउँछ, when it gains one electron, plus भयो नि त, gain हुँदैछ, so के हुन्छ, it will change into an anion. So यसरी जब उसले एउटा इलेक्ट्रोन लिन्छ, then it becomes negatively charged ion, and that is known as an ion. Okay, and an ion is bigger than corresponding atom. Okay, an ion चाहिँ यो atom भन्दा, sorry, corresponding atom भन्दा चाहिँ ठुलो हुन्छ. जस्तो chlorine gained one electron and it became an ion. So size हेर्यो भने this will be bigger, this atom will be smaller. हुनु चाहिँ दुईटै chlorine को, तर atom will be smaller in size, this will be bigger in size because this has gained one electron. Okay, so let us now talk about the difference between atom and ion. Right? Before moving to the difference between atom and ion, I'll just make a chart, flow chart बनाउँछु, where you will understand atoms बाट के बनिँदो रहेछ. Now atoms, from atoms molecules are formed, हैन, molecules बनिन्छ atoms बाट. Atoms are there. So from atoms molecules are formed. How molecules are formed? When atoms combine with one another, molecules are formed. Also from atom, ions are also formed. So ions are formed when the atom loses one or more electrons. Okay, loses or gains one or more electrons. So molecule, there are two kinds of molecules: molecule of element and molecule of compound. Okay, ions they come together and they form ionic compound. Okay, so atoms बाटै दुईटै बनिन्छ, molecule पनि बनिन्छ, ion पनि बनिन्छ. Okay, now let us study the difference between atoms and ions. Okay, atom, ion, difference. Okay, first difference, atom is electrically neutral. Charge हुँदैन यसमा, अघि पनि हाले. So atoms are neutral. Okay, whereas ions are charged. Ions are electrically charged. So they can be positively charged or they can be negatively charged. So they have charges in them. Second difference के छ भन्दाखेरि, atom contains equal number of electrons and equal number of protons. Electrons and protons भनेको electrons र protons चाहिँ बराबरी हुन्छ atomमा. What are electrons and protons? We'll study after this. है, so यति चाहिँ बुझिराख्नुस्. Number of electrons and number of protons are equal in atom. Okay, whereas in ions the number of electrons and protons are unequal. Okay, number of electrons and protons are unequal. So equal number हुँदैन यसमा चाहिँ. Okay, कि त electrons बेसी हुन्छ कि त electrons कम्ती हुन्छ. Okay, so these are the differences between atom and ion. Okay, now next subtopic is writing chemical formulae. So what is a chemical formulae? Chemical formulae is just a way of representing. Chemical formulae is a way of presenting information about a compound. It gives us information. Chemical formulae ले चाहिँ information दिन्छ about a compound. How many atoms are there? What elements make up that compound? त्यो सबै जानकारी चाहिँ हामीलाई कसले दिन्छ? Chemical formulae. So it is important to know about the chemical formulae. So there is a way of writing chemical formulae. So to write the chemical formulae, we have to know two things. Okay? So to write chemical formulae, two things are required, two things are needed, or we have to know two things. What are those two things needed? First is the symbol of the elements, and second we have to know about the valency of the elements. Okay, now symbol we have already studied in yesterday's class. Symbol is the short form or abbreviation of the full form of the full name of the element. जस्तो हामीले hydrogen लामो नलेखेर we just write it as H, that is symbol. For calcium we write it as Ca. So symbol can be of one letter like in hydrogen, or it can be of two letters like in calcium. Okay, so your symbols ko bisayama ta in yesterday's class we dealt with it, so we'll not be dealing in today's class. But one thing is that you have to memorize the symbols of elements. For that you can refer to page number 34 of your NCERT textbook. Tapeko page number 34 ma certain names of some commonly occurring elements ko symbols deko cha tyanira, just memorize it. Okay, so today we'll talk about valency. Okay, valency bhaneko ke rahecha? Before understanding what is valency, we have to study about the structure of atom. Okay, or we have to know about the structure of atom. We'll study about structure of atom in detail in the next chapter. Next chapter ko naam hai structure of the atom cha. So we'll study in detail over there. Here I'll just give you a brief idea to understand about valency. I'll just give you a brief idea of the structure of atom. Yesterday we studied that atoms are very, very small, and to see it we have to use most powerful microscope. Okay, so most powerful microscope bata मात्रै उसलाई देख्छ भनेको very, very powerful microscope हुनु पर्छ. So when it is observed under a very, 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 very powerful microscope, the structure of the atom, it is similar to the structure of the solar system. हाम्रो solar system को जस्तो structure छ, atom को पनि structure त्यस्तै छ. What is solar system? The sun and the 8 planets, they form the solar system, right? So solar system, do you remember the picture of the solar system? Beachma there is the sun, and around it planets revolve. Okay, so त्यस्तै गरी solar system को जस्तै structure of the atom हुन्छ. Okay, structure of atom. जसरी बीचमा सन हुन्छ सोलर सिस्टममा एटममा चाहिँ देयर इज अ न्यूक्लियस दिस इज द न्यूक्लियस okay in the center there is a nucleus now this nucleus is made up of two things neutrons and protons okay nucleus भित्र चाहिँ दुईटा चीजले बनिएको हुन्छ neutrons and protons okay nucleus now there are third particles inside the atom those are called electrons okay these are electrons and they revolve around the nucleus electrons हरु चाहिँ न्यूक्लियस को वरिपरि जसरी प्लैनेट्स हरु सन को वरिपरि घुम्छ त्यसरी नै इलेक्ट्रोन्स हरु पनि they move around the nucleus okay now electrons these are negatively charged so हामीले represent गर्दा यसरी represent गर्छ E stands for electron and since it has negative charge we put a minus sign as superscript okay अनि त्यहाँदेखि neutrons the since it has no charge so we write it as n ले छ नि यहाँ है त्यस्तै गरी protons since it is positively charged so we write it as p plus है यो चाहिँ p plus so this is the structure of neutrons this is the structure of atom so if you look carefully at the structure of atom is made up of particles atom अझै particles ले बनिएको हुन्छ लास्ट टाइम चाहिँ हामीले के पढ्दै थियौ डाल्टनको एटॉमिक थ्योरीमा चाहिँ atoms are indivisible that means they cannot be further broken down into particles भनेको थियो but modern science ma jab when most powerful microscope was invented then that time when they observed the structure of atoms they found out that atoms is further made up of particles so these particles are known as subatomic particles okay the particles that are present inside the atom they are known as subatomic particles and there are three kinds of subatomic particles that is electron represented by E minus proton and third one is neutron okay so यो तीनटा subatomic particles ले के बनिन्छ एउटा atom बनिन्छ electrons negatively charged protons positively charged neutron is neutral that means it does not have a positive charge or a negative charge okay now second point you have to remember is that these electrons when they revolve around the nucleus they revolve in orbits or they revolve in shells जस्तो प्रकारले when the electrons they revolve around the nucleus उनीहरु यस्तो आफ्नो आफ्नो orbit मा अथवा shells मा revolve गराउँछ जसरी प्लैनेट्स हरु आफ्नो आफ्नो orbits मा revolve गर्छ इलेक्ट्रोन्स हरु पनि यसरी orbits मा revolve गर्छ and these shells are designated as k shell l shell m shell भन्दै त्यसरी चाहिँ यो शेल को नाम दिन्छ m n o p गर्दै shells हरुको नाम दिन्छ बुझे यहाँसम्म न्यूक्लियस हुन्छ न्यूक्लियस is made up of neutrons and protons and electrons revolve around the nucleus and these electrons they revolve in various shells okay and the name of the shells are k l m n etc okay now another point is that the outermost shell of an atom is known as valence shell सबभन्दा बाहिरको shell okay यहाँनिर हेर्यो भने this is the outermost shell so this is the valence shell and the electrons that are found in the valence shell are called valence electrons and the electrons present in the valence shell or present in the outermost shell are outermost shell or valence shell are known as valence electrons यति बुझ्नु भयो जुन चाहिँ outermost shell मा भएको electrons हुन्छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ we call it valence electrons and these valence electrons take part in any chemical reaction कुनै पनि chemical reaction मा यो बाहिरको electrons हरुले मात्रै part लिन्छ भित्रकोले लिदैन okay valence electrons take part in chemical reaction So from these valence electrons, we find out the valency of an atom. Okay, so let us see what is valency. So first, let us define valency. Valency. Valency is the combining capacity of an element. Okay, the combining capacity of an element is called valency. Is called valency. Combining capacity. What is combining capacity? To understand combining capacity, let us take an example. Okay, octopus र human being को example लिऊँ. I hope you know what is octopus. It lives in the sea, हैन, मुनि bottom मा बस्छ. अनि how many arms does it have? It has 8 arms. Okay, 8 वटा आर्म हुन्छ. मान्छेको कतिवटा हात हुन्छ? 2टा हात हुन्छ. अक्टोपसको 8 वटा हात छ, मान्छेको 2टा हात छ. अब सम्झिनुस्, एउटा अक्टोपसले आफ्नो सबै हात एन्गेज गरेर कति जना मान्छेलाई पक्रिनु सक्छ? आफ्नो सबै हात एन्गेज गर्नु पर्यो. ह्युमन बीइङको पनि सबै हात एन्गेज गर्दा कतिवटा पक्रिनु सक्छ? सोच्नुस् त, अक्टोपसका 8 वटा हात छ, ह्युमन बीइङको 2टा छ. सो एउटा अक्टोपसले कति जना मान्छेलाई पक्रिनु सक्छ? 4. कसरी? अक्टोपसको 2टा आर्मले एउटा मान्छेको 2टा हात पक्रिन्छ. फेरि 2टा अक्टोपसको 2टा हातले अर्को मान्छेको 2टा हात पक्रिन्छ. त्यसरी चाहिँ कसरी कतिवटा मान्छे पक्रिनु सक्छ? उसले 4 जना मान्छे पक्रिनु सक्छ. सो द भ्यालेन्सी अफ अक्टोपस इज 4, किनभने ऊ 4 जना मान्छेसँग कम्बाइन गर्न सक्यो नि त. सो दिस इज इट्स भ्यालेन्सी. सो सिमिलरली एलिमेन्टको पनि यस्तो भ्यालेन्सी हुन्छ. And this valency is given in terms of number. नम्बरमै दिन्छ 1 2 3 4 भनेर valency हुन्छ. Okay, now the elements which have valency 1, elements which have valency 1 valency छ भने they are monovalent. Okay, monovalent. 2 छ भने अघिको जस्तै भ्यालेन्सी 2 छ भने डाइभ्यालेन्ट है. 3 छ भने ट्राइभ्यालेन्ट. 4 छ भने टेट्राभ्यालेन्ट. ओके, 4 मीन्स टेट्राभ्यालेन्ट. सो कतिवटा भ्यालेन्सी छ त्यो त्यति नै त्यसको त्यसरी नाम दिएको हुन्छ. ओके, 1 भनेको मोनो, 2 भनेको डाइभ्यालेन्ट, 3 भनेको ट्राइभ्यालेन्ट, 4 भनेको tetravalent. Okay, now let us move on to a valency chart. Okay, valency chart. Now to write the chemical formulae, अघि भनिहाल्यो हामीलाई के याद हुनुपर्छ? सिम्बल्स र भ्यालेन्सी याद गर्नुपर्छ. र भ्यालेन्सी पनि सबै एलिमेन्ट्सको एउटै हुँदैन नि त. atoms, ions को there are different valencies of different atoms and ions. So त्यो valency represent गर्ने एउटा चार्ट छ, that is known as valency chart. Okay, त्यसलाई हामी भन्छौं valency chart. Now in valency chart the elements are divided into groups. Groups ma divide gareko हुन्छ. Each group has the same valency. Okay, so let us see some groups that are present in valency chart and some of the valency of the elements. Okay, अब यहाँ पनि symbols जस्तै तपाईले याद गर्नुपर्छ. Okay, so first I'll write about the ions. Hydroxide, ion, hydroxide, then fluoride, hydroxide, fluoride, ion. Okay, fluoride ion, bromide ion, bicarbonate ion, bicarbonate ion, nitrate ion. So this is one group of ions. यो आयन को सिम्बल चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ हाइड्रोक्साइड आयन को भन्दा हाइड्रोक्साइड आयन को सिम्बल हुन्छ OH और यसको फर्मुला चाहिँ OH है, फ्लोराइड को F, क्लोरिन को Cl, ब्रोमाइड को Br, bicarbonate means HCO3 and then comes nitrate NO3. So यो चाहिँ यिनीहरुको सिम्बल भइहाल्यो. So यिनीहरुको भ्यालेन्सी चाहिँ हुन्छ, their valency is -1 ल. भ्यालेन्सी चाहिँ के हुन्छ -1. Their valency is -1. That is an easy way to remember this, right? Hydroxide, fluoride, chlorobromide, hydroxide, fluoride, chlorobromide, bicarbonate, nitrate. Their valency is -1. So if you remember that song, you will be able to know the valency. Okay, so yesto parale this is first group that is present in valency chart. Okay, now let us talk about another group that is present in the valency chart. यो group को पनि valency एउटै हुन्छ. So के रहेछ हेरौं. Ammonium, okay, ammonium ion, then comes silver ion, then comes hydrogen ion, then comes potassium ion, then comes sodium, okay, then comes sodium ion. Okay, let's write the symbol. Ammonium ion ko symbol NH4. Okay, ammonium ko NH4, silver ko Ag, hydrogen ko H, potassium ko K, sodium ko Ne. यो चाहिँ यहाँको सिम्बल हो के हैन. Okay, so यो भयो. त्यहाँदेखि यसको भ्यालेन्सी चाहिँ छ +1. Okay, their valency is +1. Okay, so this is the second group. Okay, आ गया है कि नहीं, आ गया है कि नहीं, their valency is +1. You can remember it that way. Now third group is magnesium ion, then comes mercury ion, zinc, calcium, barium, and then lead. Okay, lead ion. So यो group छ magnesium Mg, mercury Hg, zinc Zn, calcium Ca, barium Ba, lead Pb. Okay, so this is the symbol and their valency is +2. Okay, this is quite interesting. Magnesium होगा जिंक का बाप, magnesium होगा जिंक का बाप. Their valency is +2. Okay, now next group. Let us write about the next group, that is oxide ion, then comes sulfide ion, then comes carbonate ion, है carbonate ion आउँछ अनि त्यहाँदेखि sulfate ion. This forms another group. Okay, oxide भनेपछि यसको O भइहाल्यो हैन त्यहाँदेखि सल्फाइड S कार्बोनेट CO3 carbonate CO3 sulfate SO4. Okay, so this is it. This is the symbol and their valency is -2. Okay, -2. अब यसलाई चाहिँ के भन्छ OS को 3 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 SO4, their valency is -2. Okay, their valency is -2. Now the last group, right? Last group. यसरी चाहिँ मैले why am I giving this valency chart भन्दा चाहिँ it will be easy to remember भनेर मात्रै नत्र भन्दा बुकमा पनि छ the table is given and then valency is given, you can memorize it from there also. यहाँबाट चाहिँ ग्रुप छुटाएर यसरी गर्यो भने चाहिँ it will be easier for you to remember भनेर मात्रै मैले valency chart दिएको. Then comes copper, okay, then comes iron and then aluminium. Okay, now copper has two valencies है कोही बेला चाहिँ कोही एलिमेन्ट को दुईटा भ्यालेन्सी हुन सक्छ. कपर को भ्यालेन्सी 1 and 2 हुन्छ, आइरन को 2 and 3 हुन्छ, एल्युमिनियम को 3 हुन्छ. ओके, एल्युमिनियम को 3. सो यो चाहिँ दिस आर डिफरेंट भ्यालेन्सीज. अघिकोमा चाहिँ एकै ग्रुपमा सबै भ्यालेन्सी एउटै थियो तर यहाँ चाहिँ तपाईको डिफरेंट भ्यालेन्सीज छ. सो व्हेन एन एलिमेन्ट हैज मोर देन one valency, this kind of valency is known as variable valency. Variable valency, that is an element has more than one valency. More than one valency. दुईटा valency छ नि त है. So यस्तो पाराले valency चाहिँ if an element has more than one valency, their valency are written in Roman numerals inside a bracket. Let me give you an example. जस्तो copper को if you are talking about valency 2, so bracket भित्र यसरी Cu2 भनेर लेख्छ. आइरन को यसरी ब्रैकेट मा 3 यसरी लेखेको छ भने चाहिँ तपाईले बुझ्नु पर्यो यो आइरन को भ्यालेन्सी 3 छ, यो कपर को भ्यालेन्सी 2 छ. ओके, सो वेरिएबल भ्यालेन्सी छ भने चाहिँ if there is more than one valency, it is written inside the brackets with Roman numeral. ओके, बुझ्नु भयो. सो यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी भन्नुहुन्छ, कपर 1 2, iron 2 3, iron 2 3, aluminium 3. Okay, copper 1 2, iron 2 3, iron 2 3, iron 2 3, aluminium 3. So valency त्यसरी याद गर्नु सक्छ. So after memorizing the valency, after memorizing the symbols, now we are ready to write the chemical formula. Now we can write the chemical formula. To write the chemical formula, there are certain rules. जताभावी लेख्नु पाउँदैन. So what are the rules that we have to follow for writing chemical formula भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ for writing chemical formula are के rules रहेछ भन्दाखेरि first मा when you are writing the formula, you have to write the symbols of the element side by side. Write the symbols of the elements side by side. यहाँनिर फर्मुले लेखेछ. फर्मुला भनेको चाहिँ फर्मुली इज प्लुरल, फर्मुला चाहिँ सिंगुलर हो. ओके, now when we write the symbols of the element side by side, suppose if the compound is made up of metal and non-metal, we have to write metal on the left side, that is first, and then we have to write the non-metal second. Okay, so side by side लेख्दाखेरि चाहिँ के गर्नु पर्यो भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ in such a way that metal should be on the left side, right? Should be on the left side, or it should be written first, followed by non-metal, or it should be written on right. Okay, that is written on right. यो चाहिँ थियो if the compound is made up of metal and non-metal. If the compound is ionic compound bhaneko, it is made up of ions, made up of positive and negative charge ions. In that case, you have to write the cation first and anion later. Okay, so in ionic compounds, cation should be written first, followed by anion. Okay, so first rule ma symbol लेख्नु पर्यो. symbol लेख्दा पहिला metal या त cation लेख्नु पर्यो, then मात्र उतापट्टि metal अथवा non metal अथवा anion लेख्नु पर्यो. First step. Okay, after writing the symbols, then you have to write the valency. Okay, then second ma write the valency of each element as superscript. Superscript भनेको माथिपट्टि. Okay, valency तपाईले लेख्नु पर्यो माथिपट्टि as superscript. अब valency लेखिसकेपछि third step मा you have to crisscross the valency. Crisscross भनेको यताको उता लेखिदिनु पर्यो valency, उताको यता. Okay, crisscross the valency and write it as subscript. अब चाहिँ crisscross गरिसकेपछि अब subscript मुनि जुन हुनु पर्यो. अब चाहिँ अघि चाहिँ माथि लेख्दै थियो, अब crisscross गरिसकेपछि you have to put it as subscript. Then if needed the valencies can be divided by a common factor. अगर if it can be divided है, त्यति बेला चाहिँ त्यो valencies लाई divide गरेर simplify गरेर we can write it down. Okay, अब let us take an example दियो भने चाहिँ I think you will understand it better. So first मा एउटा example लियो. Let us write the formulae of water. Very simple example. पानीको लियो. Okay, formula कसरी लेखिन्छ त? Okay, now water is made up of two atoms. Okay, two elements ले बनिएको हुन्छ, hydrogen and oxygen. So first we are writing hydrogen. So water को example मा first मा है, so first मा hydrogen लेख्यो, oxygen. These are the symbols. First case मा चाहिँ यो भइहाल्यो. Now we have to, second step ma we have to write the valency of each element. Okay, so valency, it will be written as superscript. So hydrogen ko valency is +1. Okay, oxygen ko valency is -2. So we are writing it as superscript. यो भयो second step. अब third step मा के भनेको थियो, crisscross गर्नु भनेको थियो नि त valency है. So crisscross गर्दा hydrogen को valency oxygen को मुनि जान्छ, oxygen को यहाँ आउँछ, but it should be written as के भनेको छ subscript. So अब यो hydrogen को मुनि चाहिँ कसको valency आउँछ, oxygen को, crisscross गरेको. So oxygen को कति छ valency 2. Okay, and now oxygen लेख्नु पर्यो. oxygen को मुनि 1 जान्छ, 1 लाई हामीले नलेख्दा हुन्छ. And this is the formula for water. बुझ्नु भयो? Now एउटा कुरा तपाईले याद राख्नुस्, जब पनि हामीले भ्यालेन्सी लेख्दा त साइन लगाउँछौं, तर जब यहाँ निर क्रिस क्रस गर्छ, that sign can be omitted. साइन लेख्नु पर्दैन. ओके, साइन लेख्नु हुँदैन. So do not write the sign. फर्स्ट मा भ्यालेन्सी लेख्दा मात्रै त्यसको साइन लेख्नुस्, तर जब त्यसलाई क्रिस क्रस गर्छ त्यतिबेला चाहिँ you have to omit that sign. Okay, so this is one example, water ko. Second, let us write the example of hydrogen chloride. Now hydrogen chloride भनेपछि यहीँबाट बुझ्यो नि, हाइड्रोजन र क्लोराइड, क्लोरिन छ. सो दुईटा छ, हाइड्रोजन क्लोरिन. ओके, अब सिम्बल चाहिँ हाइड्रोजनको H हो, क्लोरिनको Cl. L should be small in letter. याद छ होला नि है, जहिले पनि सेकेन्ड लेटर चाहिँ स्मल लेटर हुनुपर्छ भनेर पढेको थिए नि. When the symbol consists of 2 letters. Okay. Now अब हाइड्रोजनको कति छ? Again valency +1. Okay. क्लोरिनको -1. Okay. So यो +1 -1 भयो. अनि त्यहाँदेखि सेकेन्ड स्टेपमा तपाईले भ्यालेन्सी लाउनु भयो. थर्ड स्टेपमा यु विल क्रिस क्रस इट. सो H को मुनिपट्टि क्लोरिनको भ्यालेन्सी आउँदा 1 नलेख्दा पनि हुन्छ. त्यहाँदेखि क्लोरिनको मुनिपट्टि यो H को भ्यालेन्सी कति भयो? 1. सो इट्स द फर्मुला अफ हाइड्रोजन क्लोराइड इज HCl. ओके. अब आयोनिक कम्पाउन्ड्सको अलिकति एउटा एक्जाम्पल हेरौँ. एउटा दुईटा एक्जाम्पल. ओके. सो थर्ड, आई होप तपाईहरु बुझ्दैछ होला भनेर. Third, let us write down the formula of aluminium sulfate. Okay, aluminium sulfate. So yeah, aluminium sulfate is a compound. It is made up of 2 elements, aluminium and sulfate ion. So aluminium ion and sulfate ion मिलेर बनेको हुन्छ. Now here aluminium ion is positively charged ion. Cation हो यो anion हो. त्यही कारणले गर्दा पहिला के लेख्नुपर्छ? First, we have to write cation, right? So we'll write aluminium. Aluminium को अघि valency कति थियो? 3 थियो. So +3 valency. Sulfate ion. Sulfate को formula SO4 हो. अनि यसको चाहिँ कति हुन्छ? -2. anion हो. So minus sign आउँछ. अनि त्यसको valency हुन्छ 2. Okay? First step मा we wrote the symbol. Second step मा we wrote the valency. Now third step मा we have to crisscross it. So crisscross गर्दाखेरि एल्युमिनियम को मुनिपट्टि यो 2, सल्फेट को 2 आउँछ. सल्फेट को मुनिपट्टि एल्युमिनियम को 3 आउँछ. नाउ हियर जब यसरी के छ, यो चाहिँ के हो? यो molecule it is made up of many atoms. So when a time comes like this, you have to enclose this in a bracket. अनि मात्रै त्यो बाहिरपट्टि नम्बर लगाइदिनु पर्छ. ओके. जब यसरी मल्टिपल के रे एटम्सले बनिएको हुन्छ कुनै पनि आयोन, त्यतिबेला त्यसलाई चाहिँ ब्र्याकेट भित्र हाल्नु पर्छ अनि मात्रै त्यो भ्यालेन्सी मुनिपट्टि लगाइदिनु पर्छ. सो द फर्मुला अफ एल्युमिनियम सल्फेट इज Al2SO4. रिडिङ गर्दा यसलाई के भन्नु पर्यो? Al2SO4 होल थ्राइस. ओके. सो दिस इज हाउ you write. Okay, last one example. Let us discuss about sodium bicarbonate. Okay, sodium bicarbonate. अब सोडियम को सिम्बल पहिला थाहा हुनु पर्यो. सोडियम Na, bicarbonate HCO3. Okay, so this is the symbol first मा. अब भ्यालेन्सी सोडियम को चाहिँ के छ? +1. किन हामीले सोडियम अगाडि लेखेको? Because this is cation. Okay, and bicarbonate is anion, so यसको भ्यालेन्सी -1. So now let us crisscross the valency. So crisscross गर्दा Na को मुनि 1 आउँछ. Let us not write it. And bicarbonate को मुनि पनि 1 आउँछ. सपोज यहाँ 2 आको भए यसलाई के गर्नु पर्थ्यो? ब्र्याकेटमा इन्क्लोज गरेर 2 लेख्नु पर्थ्यो. तर यहाँनिर सिन्स 1 मात्रै छ, सो वी त्यसलाई इन्क्लोज गर्नु पर्दैन ब्र्याकेट भित्र. So the formula of sodium bicarbonate is NaHCO3. I hope whatever was dealt today, you are clear with all the subtopics. Let us stop today's class here.